Okay, let's talk about that sound. You know the one I'm talking about. That super clean, kind of futuristic, almost robotic voice you hear in so many songs today. We're going to get into the whole story behind it, because the technology, called autotune, has a backstory you probably would never guess.
Yeah, that sound. I bet you can hear it in your head right now. It's been in massive pop hits, it's all over hip hop, it's pretty much everywhere. So how exactly do they make that happen?
Well, it all comes down to a piece of software called autotune. And honestly, it's one of the most important inventions in modern music history. But at the same time, it's also one of the most controversial. It's a really cool story about creativity, technology, and a huge argument over what makes music sound, well, real.
And here is where it gets really interesting. The story of autotune doesn't start in some fancy recording studio, not even close. It starts deep, deep underground, with an engineer who was looking for oil.
So yeah, let's start there. An unexpected invention. How in the world do you get from an oil rig to a #1 hit song?
So this is the guy, Andy Hildebrand. He was a brilliant engineer working for an oil company, and his job was to find oil. The way he did it was by sending sound waves, these things called seismic waves, into the earth. By analyzing the echoes that came back, his software could basically create a map of everything underground. So the story goes, one day he's at lunch, and a friend jokes with him, "Hey, can you use your math skills to invent something that'll make me sing in tune?" And for Andy, a light bulb just went off. He realized that the same math he was using for sound waves in the ground could work on the sound waves of a human voice. And he did it. By 1997, the software was officially out there. But, the original idea was for it to be a secret tool, something a producer could use to fix one tiny little off-key note without anyone ever knowing. That's not exactly what happened.
So how does this tech actually work? I mean, how do you bend sound waves? Let's break down the science here, because it's actually really cool when you get into it.
Okay, first we just need to quickly get on the same page about pitch. Every sound you hear is just vibrations in the air. That's all it is. And we measure the speed of those vibrations in a unit called hertz, or Hz. The more vibrations per second, the higher the pitch. Every single note in music has a specific hertz number. All right, so autotune does this 3-step process, and it does it thousands of times every second. It's incredibly fast. So step 1, it detects the exact pitch the person is singing. Step 2, it compares that pitch to the closest perfect note it's supposed to be. And step 3, it shifts the note, instantly stretching or compressing that sound wave so it hits the target perfect. Now this slide is the key to everything. It all comes down to one single setting, the retune speed. If you set the speed to be slow, the correction is really gentle and smooth. It sounds completely natural. You'd never notice it. That was the original goal. But if you crank that retune speed all the way to the fastest setting, the pitch doesn't glide. It snaps from one note to the next instantly. And that, right there, is how you get that iconic robot voice. And that one little technical quirk, it absolutely blew up. What was supposed to be a hidden studio tool suddenly became a sound that defined a whole new era of music. Just look at how fast this all happened. In 1997, it's invented. Just 1 year later, in 1998, Cher drops her massive hit, Believe. Her producers turned that retune speed all the way up, and the world heard that robotic sound for the very first time. People called it the Cher effect. Then, a few years later, the rapper T-Pain took that sound and made it his trademark, changing hip-hop forever. And today, some form of it is used in almost every single pop song you hear. And autotune did something else really important. It gave artists who weren't necessarily trained singers a brand new way to be creative. Suddenly, rappers could easily experiment with melodies and create these amazing hooks, completely blurring the line between rapping and singing. It really opened up a whole new world of music. Of course, the second this technology got popular, a huge argument erupted. And it's a debate that's still going on today. Is using autotune a cool, creative tool, or is it just cheating? The argument really breaks down into two main sides. You have the critics, who say it removes all the human feeling from music. That the little imperfections in a voice are what make it beautiful. They think it makes everyone sound the same. But then you have the supporters. They say, hold on, it's just another creative tool, like an electric guitar or a keyboard. It lets artists create sounds that are literally impossible for a human to make on their own. So yeah, that debate isn't going anywhere. And meanwhile, the technology is just getting more and more advanced. So where is all of this headed? What's next for vocals? Well, the future is getting pretty wild. We're already seeing AI models that can make one singer sound exactly like another famous artist. People are developing real-time translation tech, so a singer could perform in one language and you'd hear it perfectly tuned in another. We've even got virtual singers, basically characters made of code, who are becoming huge pop stars. The line between what's human and what's a computer is getting blurrier every day.
So that leaves us with this one last big question. As these tools get more and more powerful, what does it even mean for a song or a performance to be real or authentic anymore? It's something to think about the next time you hear that familiar, perfect, robotic voice in a song.